So people are speculating that President Trump may run for a third term. And I know that sounds crazy, like, wait, huh? Trump's already been in office for 2 terms. How can you run for a third term? Well, according to NBC News, they released this exclusive article yesterday that says, hey, Trump is not ruling out seeking a third term in the White House, and he's telling NBC News there are, quote, methods for doing so. Yeah, this is a real headline from NBC News, and for those that are wondering, yes, it was a real interview, not some anonymous source that no one ever heard about. No, Trump actually said this. He actually said this in an interview with NBC News. President Donald Trump did not rule out the possibility of seeking a third term in the White House, which is prohibited by the Constitution under the 22nd Amendment, stating in an exclusive interview with NBC News that there were methods for doing so and clarifying that he was not joking. A lot of people want me to do it, Trump said in a Sunday morning phone call with NBC News, referring to his allies. But I mean, I basically tell them we have a long way to go. You know, it's very early in the administration.
Firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump.
So, yeah, this made some people upset. People are claiming that Trump wants to be a dictator. He wants to rule the country for life and have no checks and balances. That's what people are saying about it. And I want to be clear. I support Trump. I think he's been a great president, especially his second term. His second term has been amazing. But, guys, I am personally against Trump running again. Guys, listen, I love Trump. He's a great president. I get that. But in 2028, he's going to be 82 years old. Now, I don't think he's going to be like Biden where he doesn't function. But, guys, he's going to be 82 years old in 4 years. And in 8 years, he's going to be 86. Do we really want that? Again, I'm not saying Trump has dementia. I know a lot of people are claiming he does, like, oh, he has dementia. He doesn't know where he is. That's bullshit. Guys, he does an interview like every single day. No, like 2 or 3 interviews. When he signs executive orders, the media's there, and he talks with them for hours. Under Biden, you may see him once a month. Maybe. And it's clear he was slowing down. He didn't know where he was. And in fact, you had Axios and other news outlets. They were reporting that, yeah, he stayed awake for maybe 3 hours a day. Trump, it's like, no, he's up the entire day. He knows what's happening. He's the president. He knows exactly what's going on. But in 8 years, is it going to be the same? Just honestly, again, I'm not saying Trump has dementia, but I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't think it's a good idea for him to run for a third term. I'm focused on the current, Trump added it, in some of his most extensive comments to date about serving a third term. And I still think at the end of the day, Trump's bullshitting. Guys, I highly doubt Trump wants to really run for another term. Because he's getting older and, well, he's going to die eventually. It's sorry, but that's truth. I think he wants to spend some time with his family. Plus, he picked Vance. He picked Vance to be his VP. And everyone knows that was because he wanted his successor. That's what he said a bunch of times in 2023 and 2024. His VP pick would be his successor. So why would he pick Vance, who's what, like 40 years old at most? Why would he pick him to be his VP and just to run again in 4 years? Why? Why would he pick Vance just to run in 4 years? That makes absolutely no sense. When asked whether he wanted another term, the president responded, I like working. I'm not joking, Trump said, when asked to clarify, but I'm not, it is far too early to think about it. And again, I don't think he wants to run. I mean, yeah, he makes a joke like saying, oh, I'm going to run in 4 years. You know, we're talking about it. We're going to look at it. But the more you look at it, it's like, it doesn't really seem like he wants to run. Again, he says he likes working, but it's like, oh, it's too early. You can't really say anything. When asked whether he has been presented the plan to allow him to seek another term, Trump said, there are methods which you could do it. And this is one concern I do got with Trump's inner circle. Now, I'm already clear. I'm not saying Trump's inner circle's bad. It's way better, especially compared to his first 4 years. His first term, his inner circle sucked. It was filled with incompetent people that backstabbed him. But at the same time, there are some people in his inner circle today that, let's face it, they're grifters and they're yes men. Whatever Trump says, they say yes to everything. No matter what it is, they say yes, 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 yes. So even if Trump was joking and saying, hey, maybe I should run a third term to mess with people, the sad part is some people in his inner circle, they take that seriously. They think, oh, Trump is dead serious, quick. We gotta look at all these loopholes to run for president. In fact, you have people like Steve Bannon saying, yeah, Trump may run for a third term. You know, they're talking about it. Guys, I like Steve Bannon, but no. Trump should not run for a third term. Guys, run Vance. Vance is a very young guy, especially compared to the last couple of presidents. He's going to be effective. He's going to be well-liked. He would be a great president. Well, why do we now have to say, no, we want Trump for another term? I know we all love Trump, but at this point, is it really worth it? NBC News asked about a possible scenario in which Vice President Vance would run for office and then pass the role to Trump. Trump responded, that's one method. And that's the method that everyone's talking about. The idea that, well, maybe Vance could run for president and Trump is VP. But then Vance actually resigns and Trump is president again. That's the method they're going to probably use. If they try to pull this stunt, which I don't think they will, I think it's stupid. I don't think it's a good idea to do this. But if they're going to try to do something, it would be this, where Vance would technically be the nominee, but Trump would be the VP. And we all know how that would work. Trump would be the president in that scenario. It's not this crap of, oh, Trump's going to be the VP and does nothing. No, guys, if he's the VP, yeah, no. He's going to be the president. But there are others too, Trump added. Asked to share another method, Trump simply responded, no. Which is absolutely hilarious. They're asking him, hey, what's the other methods? How are you going to run for president? Trump said, no, not going to answer. No. Which, again, I don't think he really wants to run. Yeah, he's making a joke here and there about, running for another term, but this is Trump. He says a lot of things that people take seriously, and that's a big problem. He makes a lot of jokes and stuff, and people take it seriously. They think he's nuts, and they run with it. I don't think Trump is serious about running for another term. I don't think he wants to. Why would he, guys? He's already went through a lot of crap. Why would he want to run for yet another term? Again, we're not even a couple months into his administration, and people are talking about, well, we need Trump for yet another 4 years. Guys, let him finish this term, and then we'll maybe talk about it in 4 years or whatever. The president pointed to his poll numbers, saying that a lot of people would like me to hold office for a third term. Which, I mean, I don't think that's wrong. I mean, you look at his approval right now, and it's still positive. Despite some very shitty polls, you still have Trump at plus 0.7, plus 1, plus 2, somewhere in that range. So, yeah, Trump is still fairly popular. Now, there's some polls that are complete bullshit saying he's at negative 20. But right now, Trump still is still fairly popular. He's, especially compared to his first term. And that's with the economy not immediately recovering. So, he's not wrong where people might support another term of Trump, but I don't know. Congressman Andy Ogles of Tennessee crafted a resolution calling for the extension of presidential term limits, which would allow Trump to seek another term in office, which is dumb. Guys, this is another problem I have. I like Andy Ogles. I like these guys in Congress like Brandon Gill, but focus on the things that matter. Guys, who gives a shit about extending the term limits? Who cares, guys? Just focus on the stuff that matters. The economy right now sucks. We got to deal with the issue of immigration, which has been dealt with mostly, but still, there's a lot of people here that are here illegally, and we got to get rid of them. Don't focus on this crap of, well, we need to extend the term limits. We got to name a bridge after Trump. Focus on the stuff that matters. This whole thing is a grift. It's a scam. That's why I'm not a big fan of talking about it. Because most of the time, these people that push it, they're using it for their own political capital. Not because they're big fans of Trump. Some of them are, yeah. But most of the time, these people that do this, they don't care about Trump. All they're doing is trying to win some political points with Trump. That's all they're doing. It's like, guys, focus on stuff that matters. You know what would make Trump very happy? Passing no taxes on tips. Passing the stuff that he wants to pass. Yeah, he might want to talk about running for a third term, but that should be the focus in 2028 or whatever, not in 2025. Guys, you have what? Maybe a year to pass your agenda? Because in 2026, that's the midterms. And I know it's looking kind of good for us right now because Democrats are incompetent, but that doesn't mean we should focus on this nonsensical stuff now. and wait till next year, because guess what? On January 1st, 2026, I guarantee you the principled conservatives like Don Bacon, they're not going to pass the damn thing. They're going to say, it's too controversial, it's an election year, we can't pass anything. That's my biggest problem with all of this. It's a distraction. This should not be the focus of this administration, let alone the people in Congress. The focus should be to get Trump's agenda through. And after that, he's be much more popular. I don't get why they're so focused on this now. Who cares? Just wait 3 years and then talk about it. Don't do it now when you have a small majority and then in 26 you're going to probably lose it. Don't. You're wasting your time on this crap. Now, again, I still personally think Trump is not running again. He's not going to. I don't think he will. Could he? Maybe. Maybe he runs for a 3rd term because he wants to. I don't know. But that would make no sense. Again, he picked Vance for a reason. Yeah, Vance was a great pick, but he picked to be a successor, not just to be his VP for 10 years. No, he wants Vance to be his successor in 2028. Why do you think Don Jr. pushed for him? He even said that years ago. Yeah, J.D. Vance would be a great successor. So why would Trump now say, you know what, I'm going to run for a 3rd term? It makes no sense. I still think he's trolling. I don't think he's that serious about running again. I mean, the way he's talking, it's like, oh yeah, there are methods to run, but oh, we can't talk about that now. Yeah, I don't think he's serious. Every time he says stuff like that, that usually means he's full of it. He's lying, he's having fun, but people take it seriously. And that's my concern. People are going to take it seriously, and they're going to say, well, we need Trump in 2028, and they're going to start attacking Vance or whatever, which would be dumb. But I'm just hoping that this is just a joke. I'm hoping people don't take it that seriously, because it doesn't seem that serious. This whole thing just seems like a joke where Trump is getting the media to talk about stuff that doesn't really matter for the fun of it. But I guess we'll see in a couple of years. I guess it's entirely possible that Trump wants to run for another term for whatever reason. Maybe if he's very popular, he could maybe get away with it. But even then, I don't know. I just don't think he wants to. It's like he's 80, he's gonna be 82. Does he want to run again? Just honestly, would anyone want to run in that scenario where you're 82 and you know you only got a couple years left? You want to spend time with your family. Trump wants to relax at the golf course. He doesn't want to be president for the rest of his life. Maybe he wants to, I don't know. But it just seems so unlikely that he really wants to run. I just don't think he wants to. And I still think if he actually does run, I think he would win, funny enough. Just for the simple fact that he's still going to be fairly popular, I think. Unless the economy just crashes and burns for the next 4 years. He's going to be fairly popular in 2028. I still think he will be. And the Democrat Party, they're such a joke that they're going to probably pick AOC, Jasmine Crockett, a lunatic like that, or Harris again. They may run Harris again for whatever reason. And in that scenario, yeah, Trump would probably win. But it's like, guys, just go with Vance. Just go with Vance. And if Trump wants to be like an advisor to Vance for the next couple of years, you know, like, he's not the president, but, you know, he gives Vance advice whenever he needs it. Just do that. Just don't do this game of, well, actually, no, there's a secret loophole in the Constitution where Trump could theoretically run for another term, which, yeah, you're not wrong, but who cares? Who cares about some loophole? Just focus on what's happening right now, and then in 3 years, when Trump is way more popular, then we can have this discussion. I still personally am against the idea. Again, that's my gut feeling. Yeah, I would support Trump again, but I would be the most happy about it, because it's like, well, I wanted Vance. I wanted Vance in 2028. But I'm not going to vote against Trump because, oh, it's a grand conspiracy, you know, Trump's older or whatever. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it with friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.